Have you ever wondered what cards you should invest at the beginning of the game so you don't lose too many materials? Or summon to make your combat more pleasant? You are in the right place because today I'll show you what cards are worth leveling up and summoning in the future. I'll recommend cards that will help beginner players pass challenges in Bounty Hunt and Core Hunt, and also intermediate players reach directional orbits up to level 120. Please note that my recommendation is based on my own experience where I used to play full Stella match. This type of combat is easier to play and doesn't require as much investment in Protocores than Brute Force. Each 4-star companion scales in attack and you will be fighting alongside them at the beginning, before you get their 5-star versions. That's why it's worth considering cards that scale in the same way. But if you have difficulty avoiding attacks, you may need also cards that scales in HP and defensive. However, each 5-star companion scales completely differently, so he will need slightly different cards, but I will definitely mention this more than once in this video. Always prioritize 5-star cards over 4-star cards, and never level up 3-star cards. The highest stats have cards of higher type and rank. You can get cards by completing even tasks, pulling them on the banners, using magnets in the Galaxy Explorer, or exchanging them in the Wishing Well shop. Please don't buy 4-star cards there because you will mostly get them anyway. Let's start with Xavier, who will help you with Lemonade and in other challenges that requires green and yellow cards. His 4-star version, Deepspace Hunter and Evil Police, and also 5-star companion who called Lightseeker, scale in attack, so be sure to build him with cards that scale exactly the same. However, his 5-star limited version, Lumiere, scales in defensive and you must focus on defensive scaling cards. But when you don't have enough of these, you can add attack scaling cards. Also, don't forget to use his 5-star cards for easier build even though they scale differently than your companion. Here you see colors of the cards that will help you during the challenges in light orbit, but level them up when necessary. The next love interest is Zayne, who will help you fight Pumpkin Magus and in other challenges that require blue and red cards. His 4-star version, Medic of the Arctic, and also 5-star companion who called Master of Fate, scale in attack, so be sure to build him with cards that scale exactly the same. However, his 5-star standard version, Forestier, scales in defensive and you must focus on defensive scaling cards. But when you don't have enough of these, you can add attack scaling cards. Also, don't forget to use his 5-star cards for easier build even though they scale differently than your companion. Here you see colors of the cards that will help you during the challenges in Ice Orbit, but level them up when necessary. Now let's move on to Rafayel, who will help you with Snoozer and in other challenges that require purple and pink cards. His 4-star version, Fresh Paint, and also 5-star companion who called Abyss Walker scale in attack, so be sure to build him with cards that scale exactly the same. However, his 5-star limited version, God of the Tides, scale in HP and you must focus on HP scaling cards. But when you don't have enough of these, you can add attack scaling cards. Also, don't forget to use his 5-star cards for easier build even though they scale differently than your companion. Here you see colors of the cards that will help you during the challenges in Fire Orbit, but level them up when necessary. Sylus and Caleb have a much smaller number of cards than OG, so it may be more difficult for beginning player to obtain their cards and complete bosses in Bounty Hunt and Core Hunt with the help of these companions. But I'm sure you will be able to complete their challenges in directional orbits if you collect the right cards. Sylus often needs pink and green cards, his 4-star version, Otherworldly Visitor, and also 5-star companion who called Relentless Conqueror, scale in attack, so be sure to build him with cards that scale exactly the same. However, his 5-star limited version Absorben scale in HP, and you must focus on HP scaling cards. But when you don't have enough of these, you can add attack scaling cards. Also, don't forget to use his 5-star cards for easier build even though they're scaled differently than your companion. Here you see colors of the cards that will help you during the challenges in energy orbit, but level them up when necessary. Unfortunately, I have to skip Caleb because he appeared in the first decade of 2025, and the developers have just announced that he will get his limited version very soon. Due to the fact that at the time of recording this video I don't have any official information about his 5-star limited companion scaling, therefore I'm forced to abandon the topic for a while. But please check the video description where you will find recommended cards when I get some updates.